If you want to be a Counter-Strike pro, you guys need to do 5 things every day, which I'm going to tell you in this video. As long as you have discipline and really think about what these 5 things I'm going to tell you, you will notice a big improvement, even if you don't want to become a pro player, but maybe you want to be someone that is actually good at the game. These 5 little tips are going to help you. And I'm going to start off with talking about a training routine. This is one of the first things that you need to do when you are playing Counter-Strike. If you want to get remotely good at the game, maybe you're going for a high premier rank, or maybe you're going for a, faceit level 10 rank, whatever it is, the only way to improve is if you actually have a routine. If you guys watch my stream, you'll know that I always start at my stream and I always start on the fast warm-up map where I'm kind of just shooting the bots that are running out different directions, and it actually emulates to something like this as well, where I'm shooting someone at ramp and then I have to flick up to someone in palace because it puts me in those in-game situations. So you really need to break down your training and try to see what you need to improve on. Maybe your flicks are off and you need to do more aim bots, or maybe it's your spray and you need to go work on your spray control. There could be so many factors in your gameplay, but you're only going to know from watching yourself. And then with a training routine, you need to be able to shrink that into a warm-up routine. A warm-up routine should be about like 15 to 10 minutes. It really depends on the person, so I wouldn't really overthink it, but try to find that good little sweet spot for you from your training routine, that when you're doing your training routine, try to feel when you start to almost warm up in a sense, where your shots start to hit a lot better and you can consistently flick to whatever target you're flicking to, like how I'm flicking to palace and ramp. Those are the sort of things you want to look out in your aim routine so you can find that warm-up routine. But if you don't have a good training routine, you're definitely just going to set yourself behind and you're not going to see any improvement in your game. And before I get into the next tip, if you guys want any cool skins like I have in my inventory right here, make sure you guys check out the sponsor of this video, Skins Monkey. Today's sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a CS2 skins trading site and marketplace that provides an instant way to get new skins. My favorite thing about Skins Monkey is that I can trade skins that I no longer want and trade it for a skin that is equal value. If you use code LouisCS2, you get a $5 bonus on your first trade. If you want to buy skins, you can get a 30% deposit bonus plus an extra 5% using my code. The link is down in the description. The next thing that you guys need to do is watch demos, either of yourself or of pro teams. If you do watch yourself, you need to be someone that knows what to look for. You need to know when misplays happened, or when, maybe you could ask for a flash, or a situation where you didn't have to peek somewhere. Like, let's say we know someone's in ladder room and I'm literally sitting here chair, but I have an opper posted on Delpan like this. If I peek out and die to someone else on cat, maybe they had a double cat setup, you need to know that you messed up because your opper is literally just sitting here covering you. Even if they know you're on chair, they're going to be sitting there holding you and eventually probably go to reclear mid. So it's very important to note common mistakes like that. Or maybe it's about your utility. Maybe you're out mid and you guys aren't going to resmoke window. You need to figure out what utility you need to use on what map control and the timing of the window smokes or the timing of the top con smokes. Or maybe you're just not taking connector right. Maybe you're not smoking top con and mauling the cubby like this on the left. There's so many things to look out for in a demo, but if you don't have good experience or game knowledge, definitely watching a professional player play the game, watch a POV on YouTube, or maybe just watch a demo. You can kind of teach yourself on what is happening in the game as long as you replicate it. And then when you notice yourself kind of straying away from you replicating what they are doing, you'll almost notice some mistakes because you'll be like, oh, well, Alexi B didn't do that, or Rops didn't do this on his lurk. He waited for this timing, but I went too early, even though I saw and heard the same things that he did. There's so many things that you just need to study up on to really build that game. Since I was someone coming up in the scene, I had no one to teach me anything, and I had to just pretty much teach myself. I'll never forget the day when I was in a scrim on train back in like 2018, 2019. What happened was we weren't rotating correctly, and we actually figured out on the A bomb side of train, which applies to every single map, is that when someone is, let's say solo A site, if someone is coming to rotate, we have to go and fill. We have to make space for this guy to rotate because he can also support me playing close. So if you don't have someone to teach you, you need to really have the discipline to study up on the game and teach yourself these sort of things and really break down your own gameplay so you can identify these problems, and you'll notice a big increase in your performance. Now, this next tip is very, very important because it's about finding your role. Finding your role is so important in Counter-Strike because it's going to determine your play style. For example, if I'm Rops and I am someone that likes to lurk in palace and ramp, not going to see me just hold W out mid one round with just a ton of flashes, flash behind box, flashing in valley. You're not going to see Rops do any of this, like trying to run and scale con as fast as possible, because that's that's not his play style. Robs is a passive player, and if he does anything remotely aggressive like I just showed, he's going to start to get some big inconsistencies in his play style because that's not something he is used to. Now, sure, some rounds you might want to rush a site or something, but that's a little bit different because there's a lot of pathing and grenades to talk about in a team setting. But you'll never see Robs really make any aggro solo plays. He only takes his timing. Like if I'm lurking Palace and I know there's a lot of mid pressure going on, he might just walk out and try to take his timing. But Robs is never going to be someone that's just going to hold down, you know, extinguish the ramp molly and just run out A like this, because that, like I said, will create inconsistency because that's not what he's used to. So you need to identify what kind of player you are. So when you are playing the game, you can play that consistent play style so you keep having consistent numbers. Because if you're switching up your play style from, you know, maybe you're a lurker one game and then the next game you're just, you know, constantly flashing out mid, trying to run up cat and take con, you're gonna notice a big red spot in your stats because you're just playing differently every single game. Now, there is some games where your play style will be countered and it will be a little bit annoying. If you notice, Robs has kind of entered that slump that he's in. It's because his playstyle is just being countered just a little bit, and he needs to figure out a way on how it can't get countered, but that's his own homework that he has to do. But if you do notice that you are entering that slump and you are keeping that consistent playstyle, you need to figure out how to not get countered. So if you are this A-lurk and maybe you're going Palace every round and obviously they keep smoking it, you can't catch your timings, and then you're forced to go, you know, maybe to lurk, you know, towards ramp and just hold ramp, you need to really figure out and watch some demos on how to just avoid all of this. You know, how can I not get teams to smoke Palace instantly because I don't like to go ramp? You know, those sort of things you have to ask yourself and break down. So if you do find a good playstyle, you will develop your own skill a lot better, and you're going to notice a lot more consistency in your playstyle. Now, this next one is very important because this is talking about balance. A lot of time gamers just sit at their PC for 15-20 hours a day and they literally don't do anything. So it's very important that you find balance. Find time to go outside and get some vitamins. Make sure you guys are eating good. You don't want to be, you know, stocking up on sugar and carbs and just crashing while you're playing and then you notice a huge performance. That actually happened to me a little bit ago in one of my matches. I had so much pasta before a match and I played terrible because I just overloaded on carbs and my body was literally just crashing trying to digest all of that food, and it really backfired, and it taught me a lesson that I do need to be careful what I eat before matches. So if you do notice that you aren't that good inside of the game, it could be because you're not going outside, you're not being active, you're not stretching, your blood's just not flowing, and also your brain's not working because it's not getting the right nutrients that it needs. You need to make sure you are getting those vitamins. I know this is kind of like a little witch doctor tip, but it's something very important that you guys need to do if you want to take it to the next level, because if you don't have healthy habits outside of the game, you're definitely not going to have healthy habits inside of the game. So if you aren't watching what you're eating and you're not being active, that will just pretty much have a big toll on your performance. If you notice, the top players in Counter-Strike right now are actually some pretty fit individuals. There's some outliers, but we just, you know, kind of avoid those. Maybe they're just gifted at the game, but a lot of people are active. They like to go on walks. They drink a lot of water. They don't really ingest caffeine that much. There's so many things that these guys are doing to make sure they stay at the top. And if you want to be at the top, you need to study players like that. Like someone like Nico, this guy's lost so much weight and he's getting really fit at the moment because he's being active. He's watching, you know, what he's eating. I know when he drinks energy drinks, he's drinking the sugar-free Red Bulls, so he doesn't have a lot of sugar intake. He's someone who is really trying to take care of his body so he can stay at the top. And he is getting older as well, and he has been performing pretty decently at the moment. Like he's almost getting back in form. So that's just something to note. If you aren't watching your diet, watching what you're eating, not going outside, that's definitely something that you need to do. Now, those are the 5 tips that I have for you guys. So if you think I missed out on anything, make sure you guys comment those down below. I tried to keep it in-game and out-of-game with some tips that you guys may have not even thought of. So hopefully you guys did learn something from this video. But make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.